guys, welcome back to the vlog. This week I'm going to be talking about how to store, freeze, and thaw your breast milk. Let's dive right on into it. So to start out, we're going to talk about storing your breast milk. You can store your breast milk out on the counter at room temperature for up to 4 hours. You can store it in the fridge for up to 4 days, or you can store it in the freezer from 6 months to 12 months. 6 months would be the freshest, and 12 months would be the absolute maximum. You're not gonna wanna use it after that. So let's talk about storing your milk in the freezer. So I use these Lancino breast milk storage bags. I used them when I was pumping and storing milk for Lola, and I'm using them again now. Love them. There is a place for you to write date, volume, name, and time. I only use the date and the volume, and I don't even need to write the volume because I store my breast milk the same amount of volume every single baggie, and that's 6 ounces. So once I've collected 6 ounces of milk, I will store them right in this baggie and just write the date, and then I'll store it away in the freezer. Now to dive even further on the storage in the freezer itself, once I get this baggie filled up with milk, I lay it flat in the freezer so that it freezes flat, and then I can go back in once it's frozen and I can stack it up nice. I have these really awesome containers that I got off of Amazon that store everything so nice. It keeps everything very organized, and I absolutely love them for storing my breast milk. So let's go ahead and walk through the process of me actually storing the milk away in the baggie and putting it in the freezer so you guys can see that. So I've got my breast milk storage bag right here and ready to go. I've already dated it, and I have pre-measured out some breast milk. So let's go ahead and get the 6 ounces of breast milk right into the baggie. And then once you have the milk in there, you're gonna wanna try and get as much of the air out as possible. It just allows for better freezing when you put it in the freezer. Now I've got it all ready to go, and I'm gonna go ahead and go in the freezer, and I'm going to lay it flat just like this. So as you can see, when I'm transferring it into the freezer, I make sure that it's laying on a flat surface so that it can freeze flat. That way, once it does freeze, I can transfer it over and put it very nicely right into my organization trays. And that is how I store and freeze my breast milk. You can see that my supply is kind of getting crowded in the freezer inside. We actually have a deep freeze out in the garage, and once it starts to get kind of built up in my freezer inside, I will go ahead and transfer the older stuff into the deep freeze. Now I don't have a bunch of these containers, I only keep those inside the house. So once I do transfer them over into the deep freeze, I'll get a giant Ziploc baggie, write down a date range, and then so I know exactly what date that milk is coming from, and I can just put that gallon Ziploc baggie right in the deep freeze. That way, when I go to get it and use it again, I know what the date is. It's right on the baggie, so it makes it super easy when I'm trying to locate the supply. So next up, let's talk about how to thaw your breast milk, which is very important. The absolute best way to thaw your breast milk is to take it out of the freezer the night before and let it thaw in the fridge overnight. How I do that is I actually take a bowl, and I'll take my frozen milk packet and I will put it in the fridge like this, just in case there's any holes. This has happened to me before, so I'm super grateful that I've done this. It's totally saved my milk. Just in case there's any holes in the baggie, it will leak into the bowl and not all over your fridge, which is super nice. The other way to thaw your breast milk is to do it in a bowl of warm water, never hot water. So you can get a bowl of warm water and you can just pop your breast milk baggie in it right like this. You might have to shift the frozen milk down as the bottom part starts to thaw, but those are the couple ways that you can let your breast milk thaw. And then once you do thaw out your breast milk, you have to use that milk within 24 hours. So make sure that you're noting the time that you're taking out the milk to thaw, so that you know that it's that 24-hour mark from there that you need to have this milk drank. If it's been over that 24-hour mark that your milk has been thawed, I don't just toss it out. I actually will use that. It has a lot of good healing properties, and I'll put it in Lola's bathtub, and that's really good for their skin. So there's a couple other ways that you can use that milk without actually having the babies drink it. That is how I store, freeze, and thaw out my breast milk. If you guys have any other questions about breastfeeding, pumping, storage of milk, anything like that, be sure to let me know in the comments below. I hope this video was helpful to you, and if you have not already, be sure to subscribe, turn on that notifications bell, and give this video a thumbs up. We'll see you next time.